again, Free Rotation Nation. We are back with our spooky, spectacular, spooktacular. To steal a Calcanane joke, you can't say spooktacular.
Cumtacular.
Unless it's Halloween, or you'll sound like a gay racist. Anyway.
I missed half of the conversation of what you just said.
It was great. He was looking at me the whole time when he was saying it, too.
Welcome back to our spooky episode. We are going to, this is part 3, and we're going to go to Angela, and she's going to take us somewhere fanciful.
Spooky, scary skeletons.
We're going to go to Europe.
Ooh.
Sicily, 1942.
I love it. Thank you for being a friend.
You're welcome. So we are going to go to Romania. We are going to go... I need a little bit more light because I'm old and I can't see.
Okay. Please hold. I'll turn on the big people lights.
Thank you. So we are going to go to the Hoia.
Jesus Christ.
That's how it's...
Why are you like this?
We're getting
so
canceled
sorry.
and it's fine.
The Hoia Baciu. I actually didn't write how you spelled it. I wrote how it's pronounced.
I love how every episode you have any involvement with your notes. You're like, I don't know what that says, but it says something.
But the Hoia Baciu is located near Cluj-Napoca in Transylvania.
You're saying a lot of words. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. The word Cluj just means enclosed. So it's in the foothills of the Carpathian Mountains. So Cluj is an old word that just means enclosed. Napoca came during the times of communism. I could go down the history of it, but that's not what we're here for. Communism is terrifying, I'm sure, but not in this instance. This forest, the Hoia Forest, is actually called the Bermuda Triangle of Forests. And it is, you might think that out of all the things we've talked about they're the more haunted than this, but this is actually listed on every list as the top most haunted and paranormal location in the world.
Paranormal being important to remember.
Paranormal, not supernatural, not haunted, but paranormal. There are literally thousands of reports every year. Every year, not over time, but every year. So
we laugh too much.
That's probably it. So the Hoia Forest, it covers about 3 square kilometers. It's about 362 hectares, I believe, if you're foresty like Chris and know a hectare.
I don't.
I know hectare.
Wow.
He's got a big dick.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Yeah.
Hectares are a unit of measure. They do it on large properties. I think a hectare is... It's like 2.5 square acres or something.
That sounds like some socialism shit
something
right there.
Like but it's a large plot of land.
Yeah. Funnily enough, one of the things about the Hoia Forest in the Transylvanian area is that it's also one of the oldest Neolithic settlements in this part of the world. It dates back to people being there to 6500 BC, and it belonged to the Starveca-Koros peoples. I mean, they're Carpathian, so if you study down that...
I know that from Ghostbusters. Victor, the Carpathian dude from Ghostbusters too.
See, yeah. Yeah, I mean, the Carpathian history is actually very, very interesting. And yes, you did hear me say Transylvania, but here's the thing about Transylvania, is Vlad Dracul is a hero in Transylvania.
Yeah.
So if you go there talking shit about Vlad the Impaler, you're probably going to get impaled yourself.
Yeah.
Vlad Tepes beat back the Mongols for a while.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, here's what it is.
He did what he had to do to protect his people.
Yeah.
Right.
And again, a lot of those stories are whatever.
Embellished.
Well, you would tell, especially if you were the enemy, it's the same stories with, what's his name from...
Genghis Khan?
No, he was a Caesar. The one they said was fucking his sister and horses.
Oh,
and,
yeah. And not Nero, but...
But they used to, like, the enemies would tell these stories to get the people... Because, again, these
Right.
are leaders that are far away, and if you can make people rise up against them...
That's right.
It makes
the easiest
it
way
easier.
to overthrow a government is to get the people who they control to do it.
So, again, all the stories about Vlad Tepes are whatever. Like,
Yeah.
he was a ruler and a war leader, but they were all kind of heinous back in the day. What are you going to do?
Man,
I'm going to find it. Go
okay.
It's C-A something.
Calipus? Caligula.
Caligula. That's it.
So the weirdest thing at first glance that you see about the Hoia Forest is the trees. The trees are very misshapen. They're twisted. They grow in arches. They also grow, if they're not in an arch, they grow in a spiral. And every spiral is clockwise. They're all completely the same, but consistently in zigzags. So it looks like it was laid out this way, but how do you get a tree to grow like that? So they're thinking... uranium in the soil might have caused it, but when the scientists go out there, there's not enough to have caused this. The trees are also unusual in the fact that they're over 200 years old that we've tracked, but yet they appear as young trees. So, there's a life cycle of a forest and woods. The trees also age and die. Yeah. New trees come up out of it. But these trees seem to be immortal. They just always appear as young trees, even though they're old trees.
I'm just thinking about, like, the twisting. Like, I wonder if that has anything to do with, like, the wind coming off of... Because, this is Carpathia, all that good area. There are the mountain ranges and stuff. Like, I wonder if there's a certain, like, wind that comes down in a specific direction.
That maybe twist them?
Well, you can see, like, pines here that lean, if they're, like, close to the ocean and stuff, like the palms. Yeah. You'll see them lean a certain way, or if a hurricane comes through, you'll see them, like, spiral. Like, it's really cool to see.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if there's, like, a wind direction off the mountain ranges.
It could very well be something up higher that we don't really see or feel. The other unusual thing about the Hoia Forest is it has a place called the clearing. We have one here in North Carolina in a forest. It's a perfect sphere, and it just belies anything science knows because nothing grows there. There's absolutely no reason. The soil is fertile. There's just literally no reason it should be a perfect sphere of nothing. So a lot of people think it's a gateway, like a dimensional gateway.
Yeah.
A lot of paranormal things. Remember I said that thousands of reports of disappearances. There's legends of a 5-year-old girl who walked in. 5 years later, she comes out, hasn't aged at age, but she has no memory. It's like she just went to a tree and back.
Kind of like the Bermuda Triangle, but
right, that's what
but a forest.
It's called the Bermuda Triangle Forest. It's named after a farmer a shepherd who went into the forest with 200 sheep and they just disappeared. So they're like, hey, that's Hoia's Forest. You don't want to go in there. The locals tend to avoid it. Yeah. But they have built spectacular biking trails. There's paintball in there. They're really trying to get people to go in, but the locals are like...
Probably to sacrifice people. Yeah. Oh, my God.
Like, especially you guys go ahead, Americans. You go ahead.
I'll wait for you here.
Have their nice time.
Good luck.
Have fun storming the castle. You think they're going to make it? Not a chance.
Not a chance. But, yeah, so there's disappearances. There's balls of light, ectoplasm, giggling voices. The worst thing that people hear are footsteps and strange hoof-like footsteps. People just pop out from behind a tree, like in the Okigahara. Did I say that right?
Aokigahara, but close enough.
The
we are Southern, and we are from America.
And the Aokigahara Forest.
I don't like Steve Aoki at all.
But he did a great remix of BTS's Mic Drop.
That's not true.
I don't know who the fuck that is.
Do not insult.
That long-haired DJ that's always in Vegas.
I don't listen to DJ music.
Me neither. He's pretty crappy, but his name is Aoki.
Oh, he sounds like a cunt.
And there's glowing green eyes that are seen. Sound familiar?
Going off the glowing green, I was watching this video of a girl that was in that forest, and she was doing it on her cell phone. And as she was in there for like 3 hours, she did like a live stream. Yeah. And as she's walking around, you can see things popping, like leaning out of trees, popping back in.
So there's pictures. Yeah. There's tons of evidence of things in the trees. You said you can't take a picture there and not catch something.
Yeah.
Romania itself is just creepy as it is.
It has such an old history, and there's a legend too that hundreds of peasants were sacrificed in this forest. So there's that energy. You know, when Vlad and his family were running, when the castle had been overrun, this is the forest that his wife had run into, and then she was thrown over the parapet. This is the forest that backs up to that. So there's just a lot of unusual history.
It's kind of like with Aokigahara, though. Like, if you... Destination Truth also did an episode on this forest.
And Ghost Adventures.
Yeah.
And they went to the circle.
It's like the energy there is just weird.
Yeah. It's interesting because the forest has some specific effects on people. You get an uneasy feeling someone's watching you. You get exhausted, nausea, feelings of anxiety. But there's also more like visual representations of it because you get rashes, which a lot of people are like, it could be the uranium in the ground. Like, seriously, you get a rash. You get a severe fever, a rash, and exhaustion. That's probably uranium. Like, let
be honest, it's probably radiation poisoning.
Yeah. Right. And
which
there are
could
high
also
levels of radiation.
Yeah.
Well, I was about to say, and that could also, if you're trying to be more on the skeptic side, that also could cause why people see a lot of these things, or they lose time in general.
Exactly. It's very true. And then for 2 days after you visit the forest, a lot of people will experience peeling skin. and horrible cramps in their muscles. And
that's radiation poisoning.
It sounds like radiation poisoning.
Yeah. And so the scientists going to be like, yeah, it's not enough, but how do you know? Have you stepped everywhere these people stepped? On a good day, if somebody steps on a specific mushroom, like, we just don't know. But there's a big failure of electronic devices, radiation. I mean, to be fair. But there is something that they can't explain, and that is the high number of UFO sightings.
Yeah.
These are also been captured, like, in the hundreds. So there's thousands of reports, hundreds of which are UFO.
Maybe that's like a Tesla charging port for the UFOs.
It could be.
Oh, yeah, the uranium is like, oh, man.
Can you imagine? That's perfect. If they use that to charge, you park in the clearing, and you get charged by just sitting by the forest. Well, in 1968, Emil Barnia was out. He was a military tech. He was out with his girlfriend and some friends, and they were at the clearing. He was taking pictures of his friends and stuff, and in one of the pictures, he happened to capture a silver disc in the sky hovering over them. Now, here's the thing about 1968 Romania. It was communist, and it was insult to the state. You were mad, you were insane, and you insulted your state if you claimed to see a UFO. And he did it anyway. He lost his job. He lost his citizenship. They put him, like, he went through hell. He lost everything he had because he was like, I saw a UFO, and people need to know. It cost him literally his life. By people, not the UFO.
Yeah. Right.
They didn't just murder him.
People are way worse than, like, anything. And I say his life, I mean, like, his.
Yeah. Live his, like, ability to procure employment and...
Right. And his girlfriend left him. She was like, fuck you, you're insane. But she saw it too, but nobody would admit to it.
Yeah, of course.
But then as time goes on, stories come out that people have always seen these silvery discs and these hovering craft and stuff over the forest.
Yeah, trying to get a recharge.
Yeah.
Get out the way, homie.
Right.
You and your old ladies get out of my gas station. I'd like a fuel up, please.
And like the hundreds of people who just disappear, they walk in and they're never seen again. And this isn't like your forest, where it's literally a sea of trees and it's thousands and thousands. And comparatively, the Hoia Forest is pretty small. You should find these people.
Yeah, you should be able to walk out without dying.
Like a shepherd and 200 sheep should be able to be found.
And even if it's like you might not have 200 sheep, you should be able to walk out with at least 30.
Yeah. And be like, or a sheep come out and be like, boy, I've seen some shit.
Right. Like the big eyes, like PTSD eyes.
Glowing green from the uranium.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking that's probably glowing eyes. Something has been, fucked up.
Yeah, mutating the water or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's a story, like one of the most famous stories is there's this guy who writes travel guides. And they're like, oh, you should go to the Cluj city, well, Cluj-Napoca, and, see Transylvania and stuff. So he goes there, and while he's there, he's taking a walk, and he runs into two Mormon sisters. And he's like, oh my God, Mormons from the U.S. And he's like, hey, I'm from Idaho. And they're like, what the fuck are you doing here? Like, they didn't say what the fuck, but basically, what are you doing here?
What are y'all doing here?
And that's what he said. What are you doing here? And they're like, but what are you doing here? He's like, I came, just to sightsee. And they're like, where? It's important. You know what you're doing here. And he was like, I don't have a plan. So one was like, you should go to Hoia Forest. Trust me, it's beautiful and relaxing. And then they leave. So he makes a plan to go hiking in Hoia Forest. And he's like filming it and he's hiking. And then he gets that feeling. I'm not alone.
Right.
And he captures a ghost through the trees. And he has it on video. You can see the video. And I mean, it looks like a woman to me. Just kind of floating in the air. But then he flips out and he starts running. The camera's everywhere. You can't see anything. As you would.
Well, why those Mormon girls telling him to go there?
Yeah, that's what he's saying. He was like, were they really Mormon sisters from the U.S. or what did I run into? Because
they may well have been that just thought it was a cool looking place.
Yeah.
Like, again, I don't know if that counts. Like, those broads being supernatural isn't a real thing because people like forests. Like,
yeah.
They may have just been traveling through. Now, the fact that there were two Mormon sisters in the middle of
Transylvania.
Yeah, little unusual. And the fact that when he said hello, they were like, what are you doing here? Instead of, oh, fellow I don't know why they were going to speak
fellow patriot American.
Oh, fellow American.
We love U.S.
Donald
USA,
Trump.
USA.
Michael Jackson #1.
Best TV show. What was it in Euro Trip? The guy when they went to that country and they only had like.
Oh, they went to like Bratislava.
Yeah, and they were like the number one best TV show. It was an old TV show. The two guys wearing the suits.
Miami Vice.
Yeah, Miami Vice, best number one new TV show on the.
And Nicole, I start my own hotel.
What? But yeah, I really want to go to this forest because I want to see the UFOs. The other stuff, I think that the uranium probably gives us a good idea of the trees and the hallucinations and
the burns,
exhaustion.
Sickness.
Yeah,
I'm not down with it.
When scientists are like, we can't find anything in the soil to explain this, and the uranium deposits aren't that much, but there's high radiation. What are you doing?
Yeah, just bring a Geiger counter. Just walk around with it.
Yeah.
Just gonna see me with the fucking spoon eating
Like, are you
dirt.
just trying to get people not to dig up some uranium? Like, or has the uranium deposits been left by the UFOs? Like, these are the questions we need answers
Chicken
to.
or egg?
Oh, that or used to be commies, right?
Yeah.
Maybe the commies dumped the uranium there too.
Maybe. It
I don't
could be
know.
like a,
Could be both.
a dumping
It could have been a
ground.
wayside.
Or the commies made a deal with the UFOs, like, hey, don't fuck with us, and we'll give us your uranium.
Now, when Ghost Adventures went there, they went to the clearing, and they did catch the will-o-wisps. Which,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, the ghost, the ectoplasms and
Yeah.
ghost lights.
My
and
favorite.
I think that's one of the first times they've ever left a site early.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was in the Romanian clearing or if it was in the North Carolina one.
There's
the
actually
Devil's
some weird
Circle.
shit. North Carolina one, too,
Yeah.
so it's weird. We can go to that one. That one's way closer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can actually drive
But I
there.
do remember when Ghost Adventures was there,
Yeah.
like you can see like people walking on the road or driving. There's
Oh, we can
just
go
nobody
camping.
there.
We can go camping in North Carolina circle.
That's what I want to do. Maybe I probably won't sleep.
Can I spoon with you, Chris?
You better bring your own tent.
Oh.
He's got the one in his pants for you.
Yeah.
No.
I'll pitch one for you.
See, I'm
good.
helping you out today, Bobs.
Thanks,
Okay.
Ange.
All right, you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
We're about to travel again.
Well, thank you guys for coming to Romania with us. And one thing I left out. I remember what I wanted. So the forest, the Hoia Forest, is also known for its bat population, which is what led to the idea that vampires turned into bats.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Because
Fancy.
there were so many bats.
Bram Stoker really took a lot of inspiration in Romania.
He did. He
And
really
the
did.
Romanias.
That book fucking sucks. I don't like the letter format. I don't like that format. I've just never been a fan of that format.
Listen,
I'm
we're
not
not
fan.
judging you, but we are, so don't worry.
Yes.
You shit on Lord of the Rings. I didn't want to hear
But
it.
yes, thank you for. Please do not pet the bats. Put your hands, feet, and probably your head back inside the vehicle, and we're gonna leave Romania
Yeah, we'll see where Chris takes us now.
after we get some tipple, which is the local drink. I really want tipple.
Is it like liquor?
One of our, viewers on Twitch is named Nipple Tipples. We haven't seen tipples in a while.
No, we also haven't streamed in a while, so
I have many goat wife.
That's what I'm worried about. Because we were pretty certain he's from India, so I'm worried about him.
Oh,
Tipples, if you're listening, you need to pop in, buddy.
He could be dead.
all
Thanks,
right,
Bobby.
bye.
I said he could be. It's a possibility.
See you on
Okay.
the next one, guys.
Next-
Please get your
to
corpses,
go-
heads, and hands inside the bus.
There's a lot of dead people involved in this episode.
And your hammers that you've killed them with. Bye.
Bye.
Later.
Is that a euphemism for his penis?
Yes.
I used
Okay.
to call it Thor's hammer.
Mjolnir. Only the worthy could wield it.
It's a meal near.
Oh my god.
TheFreeRotation podcast.